Welcome one and none to wow, great start. Not the start I imagined, but no one's here anyway, so no one's gonna see it. But for the people watching in future lands, watching the playback of this, welcome one and all to the Mostly Mazda Vidcast. I'm your host, the one and only Lonely Josh. I'm sitting here on a Tuesday night. It's hashtag Mazda Tuesday. I've got a lovely beverage in my hand, as is tradition for every Mostly Mazda Vidcast episode, and well, it's falling apart right away because I'm talking to no one. Hey, I'm finally talking to someone. Cheers. Oh boy, it's been too long since I've done one of these. The playback is going to be super awkward at the start. That should be fun. Let me make sure. Uh, uh, uh. All right, all chat is available. God, this is always a mess. So forgive me, playback audience. Howdy, Jarrett. Thank you for tuning in from Canada. It's nice to see you. Well, I guess why I wanted to do this tonight is because it is, after all, Mazda Tuesday, and it's been a while since I've done one of these, and I just kind of wanted to get on here and talk to everybody, especially after the day we had in Mazda 2 owners on Facebook, in the Facebook group. Oh my god, I wanted to get on here and talk about all the people coming in seemingly in one day, and also seemingly current or former Honda owners coming in and being like, turbo kit, engine swap. How do I get more power? And you're just like, wow. so so I wanted to talk about that a little bit, and I also, of course, if you're reading the title, I wanted to talk briefly about, and it's not big news. This is weeks old news post Rolex 24, but Mazda's ending their IMSA program, so that's why I named this. That's why I named this episode the way I named it. I just wanted to, pour out a cold one and eulogize my favorite motorsports program. It's a shame that Mazda is ending their factory prototype program in IMSA. We've still got MX5 Cup, but it's really a bummer, and especially on almost the eve of the 12 hours of Sebring, I definitely wanted to bring it up. Unfortunately, I'm not going to make it to the 12 hours of Sebring this weekend. I honestly would rather watch it on TV. I've been super busy the past few weeks and saving up a little bit of money for illicit Mazda 2 purposes and other things like that. And I just don't want to spend the money. I'm going to be tired when Saturday rolls around anyway, and we'll get into that a little bit later in the show. So, yeah, it's a Tuesday night. What's everybody up to? Gonna have to throw back a couple of these and loosen up for the show. Man, people are just coming and going as if nothing's happening. Yes, Jarrett, I agree. Boo to Mazda corporate or whoever decided to end the program. I have a sneaking suspicion that Multimatic got bought out or something. Excuse me. I have imagined that they're going to be, hey buddy, uh, well, wish your son sweet dreams from me. Not in a weird way. That came out weird. You know what I'm trying to say. I don't have children, so so best wishes to your son in dreamland. See, I'm weird when it comes to children. I have a sneaking suspicion that Multimatic is going to be involved either in the Porsche or Audi DPI program or LMDH program going forward, or something. Everyone's putting their kids to bed, and meanwhile I'm sitting here evening drinking on a Tuesday. But I'm talking to my friends, so that's a cool thing. But yeah, I don't know what's going on with the whole Mazda DPI program and why they didn't decide to do an LMDH. I imagine it has to do with the COVID economy and stuff. So, again, real bummer. Not going to Sebring this year. But I'll be watching it on TV. I'll be cheering, and hopefully things will clear up and we can finally have the third iteration of Mazda 2s on the Dragon, and that can coincide with Petite Le Mans this year at Road Atlanta, and I can actually go up there to Georgia and watch Mazda in their final IMSA race, which would be pretty cool. Probably cooler than the 12 hours of Sebring. You know, it's a shame. Yeah, I was looking forward to them going back to Le Mans as well in a top level prototype, but that's the way the news goes, I suppose. Besides the NDs, is there anything else Mazda is racing? So, Mazda's big plan, I suppose, in canceling their DPI program and not going forward with an LMDH program is they're focusing on MX5 Cup and below. So all of the club racing stuff is the focus right now for Mazda Motorsports as a whole. So especially with like B-Spec taking off, hopefully Mazda like doesn't get like too involved because B-Spec was kind of complicated with the factories involved, but hopefully there's like some kind of crisscross there. When is Petite? October sometime? Late September, early October. I haven't looked at the dates yet because I don't plan that far ahead. I just think almost like Petite's at the end of the year sometime, and I'll figure it out when I get closer to it. But going back to Mazda Motorsports and their focus, of course, MX5 Cup, which is pretty cool. They have really great racing every weekend. It's super close. I mean, only as spec racing can do. But yes, and only an hour from your house, just saying, boost. Yeah, I have an open invite to drive that car, and Zach, I really want to. And I'm looking forward to the earliest opportunity to go for a spin in that thing. And there will be video content. For anyone who doesn't know, Falcon Garage in the comments right now is teasing me with a drive in his supercharged Mazda 2 track car, which I'm greatly looking forward to. And, I want to feel like what I imagine this car would be like with 170 wheel horsepower. It's got to be a rocket ship. But yeah, Mazda Motorsports. Hopefully, there's some kind of increased involvement without like being full factory involved with particularly B-Spec. Not that I'm planning on going B-Spec racing or anything, not with this car anyway. This is just kind of my throw everything I want at it car, but the great thing about B-Spec is that it trickles down, and what I'm currently saving for so that I can get one of the limited run of 50, I'm saving up for the fancy Cook's headers B-Spec header that is being developed or has been put into production, is currently on sale. I'm unsure. I need to talk to Chris Taylor about that. But there's a header out there for the Mazda 2, and it is coming online pretty soon. It's going to be super expensive, but I am saving my pennies up for it because I think we had a dyno sheet I'm in a group chat, a Mazda 2 development chat, and I think there was a dyno sheet. I think it made 105 wheel horsepower and like 102 pound-feet of torque, which is a lot for NA, and that's with like, are B-Spec cars allowed to have like an aftermarket intake, or are they just a drop-in filter still? I don't do a whole lot of research because I'm not doing it competitively, but like I'm on the fringes of B-Spec competition as far as regulations and what the cars are allowed to have and stuff. Excuse me. I think cork sport intake. Okay. And I have a full like cold air intake, so who knows what kind of power with a good tune that would make. And I don't know if my exhaust probably isn't as good as the B spec one because it's just like a straight pipe, but who knows? So anyway, long the short, I'm hoping that some good can come from Mazda dropping from the IMSA WeatherTech ranks. So only time will tell, and it's new regulations that don't come into effect until 2023, I think, in North America. So if they have a couple good years or something and things turn around, or if Toyota eventually absorbs them like I think they're gonna do, who knows? Maybe Mazda will come back in the future and do an LMDH car. Or maybe it's all a ruse, because Mazda is known for being cagey, especially about like the fun stuff. Who knows? Maybe they're pulling out for a year and there is a car in development. Who can say? You know? They've always been super secretive and like, oh no, we're not doing that. And then, now we've got the Mazda 3 Turbo that no one thought was ever coming, but it's not manual. Anyway, so what else do you guys want to talk about? I mostly wanted to get the prototype stuff out of the way, pour one out for my homeboys in Canada, the Multimatic crew, and of course, Harry, Ollie, all the guys, Jonathan Bomarito. It's gonna be a shame not seeing those guys flying the Mazda flags in the paddock. They're all great. They're all great platinums, so they'll get rides somewhere else. And at the very least, I'll have Porsche to cheer for in the LMDH ranks with their gorgeous 911 looking prototype racer, which will be really cool. And they'll be back at Le Mans contesting for overall wins as well. Because while I am a Mazda guy on the outside, deep within my soul, I am a proper German, and I love my Porsches, which, that's one of the other things I'm slowly saving my pennies for. I want me a 911. I want me a noisy Beetle. So, Here's a question. Armrest for the 2. OEM is discontinued. I'm gonna be honest with you, Jarrett. I've never even thought about the, armrest. There's the Boomerang one. I don't know if that's like the brand or if that's just like the style. I've never even done any research into the armrest. It doesn't bother me not having one. I'm one of those dorks who's always 9 and 3, race car status all the time, both hands on the wheel, maybe one in the driver window. But yeah, I've never looked into an armrest, so I couldn't tell you which ones are available and where to get them. So I apologize about that. But really, the OEM one's discontinued. I mean, that's not surprising. 10 people bought it, but yeah. So so I'm thinking of where to go next. Honestly, I said at the beginning, I didn't have the heart to dispose of my 2 after getting the MX-30, so now I have to keep it roadworthy. Gotcha. Howdy from the UK. I'm glad to see you. Geez, I've had one beer and I'm already stumbling. Well, technically, I've had this, and a little bit earlier, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you all what's been keeping me busy the last couple of weeks. I got a second job, and honestly, it's the best second job in the world. I work at Walking Tree Brewery now as a part-time barback, 3 nights a week, and it is honestly the best job ever. I have such a good time, and every hour on the hour, we share a shot as a crew. And I stopped in there earlier because it's right across the street from my day job. And they were like, hey, while you're here, you want a shot? And I'm like, yeah, come on. So I did get a little side gig because I'm tired of wanting when it comes to particularly the 2, but also, my other automotive goals. So I just picked up this extra gig to make some extra money, and holy moly, is it extra money? It's super cool, but honestly, because tips. tips are the big thing. When I got the job, I was thinking, the extra hourly will be nice, and I'll get some social experience, get to meet some people and stuff. I didn't even think of the tips going into it, and holy moly, like I haven't even been paid yet. Like I haven't gotten my first paycheck, and the 2 nights I've worked. So, plus it's a good time. It's a real challenge, and we have a lot of fun doing it. The folks I work with are super cool, and I hope I get to keep doing it for a long time. So that's what I'm drinking so far tonight. We're like 15 minutes in. I don't think the algorithm's gonna care if I tell you I'm drinking a beer. So I'm having a Walking Tree IPA, the house brew, right now. In my Mazda Speed pint glass. So yeah, that's why I've kind of been away from YouTube, just because like I haven't had a whole lot going on, to be honest, and it makes me feel super guilty, especially for my Patreon supporters, because I don't want you guys to think that like I don't want anyone to think I'm taking their money and like not doing anything with it and not giving back. But that's, I guess, another one of the reasons why I wanted to do this vidcast in the middle of the week now that I've got time, because pretty much what I've signed up for is evenings, but mostly weekends. So I'm working the long hours, Friday nights, Saturday nights, Sundays, and stuff. But those nights, especially like Friday and Saturday night, those are the big money times. So I just wanted to make everyone like aware of what's going on as far as just the general situation in relation to content creation. Um, that was a fun rhyme just now, but yeah. So that's what's been going on. So hopefully, thanks to the additional income from that, I'm gonna have some more good stuff coming soon, namely the Mazda 2 B-Spec header that I am trying desperately to purchase. It's just, oh my god, it's so expensive. Chris Taylor, for people who doesn't know, he's like big time B-Spec racer out in Texas. Super cool guy. We've talked back and forth, and he's got a couple twos and a bunch of other cars. He's got a whole fleet of cars out there. Anyway, he's been my contact for the B-Spec header, and it's like $650. But apparently it's a really nice piece made by Cook's Headers. Uh, nice collector V-band. It's a V-band flange and all that. Super long tube, makes good power and stuff. So I want to get that. Want to figure out how I'm going to get that installed, because I'm probably going to need some help, because you either have to remove the windshield cowl or drop the subframe, and I'm not sure which I would rather do, to be honest, just to be able to have room. Then I've got to get the exhaust done with a V-band flange to mate it up. Then from there, I need to get it tuned. The cowl is much easier. Okay, well, yeah, I mean, that's got to be easier than dropping the subframe, to be sure, but if it's like one of those super long tube ones, like the one that what was his name, Andy Hollis built, if it's like a Hollis header, will I still be able to have enough room to slide it in there, Zach? That's the big question. I mean, I haven't seen what it looks like, but I'm assuming that it's super long, like the Hollis header. But I don't know. I just haven't seen it yet. I'm mostly been focusing on trying to buy it. Anybody else? Anybody else got anything to say? Come on. I need some talking points before I start ripping on all the people that came into the Mazda 2 owners group asking for turbo kits today. It was the craziest thing. It was like a wave of people just coming in, and like, how can I fuck up my 2 as fast as possible? And I'm like, whoa, chill, bro. Buy a Fiesta ST. Should still work. Either way, you have to take the cowl off to get the top header flange bolts. Okay, yeah, so either way, that cowl is coming off, and that'll be good experience. I eventually want to have this whole car apart in some capacity. Maybe not all at once, but, I do love this car, and I like taking it apart as much, or as tedious as that might be. I do enjoy little projects on it, but I think I'm definitely going to need some help. Am I? I gotta tell you, Marlon, I'm gonna try to do mid-O for Grid Life. I don't. I don't know if that's gonna happen, and I know in the last vidcast, I was talking about how I had big plans for 2021, but those have kind of gone out the window because I haven't talked about it on the channel yet. But I need a new roof. When I reorganized the Mazda cave the other day, if you follow me on Instagram, you've definitely seen that. Um, you've definitely seen the reorganization anyway, but I was moving stuff around and I didn't realize previously that the roof of my garage has been leaking for an indeterminate amount of time. I moved some stuff around and like it started dripping down onto the floor. Like I had the perfect system in place where it was slowly making its way to the floor and not becoming apparent, but as soon as I moved all that stuff, it was like drip, 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 and it was on a rainy day, and I look up there, it's right over there. There's like a roof vent. I mean, yeah, big yikes on needing a roof. I needed it anyway, but it's unfortunate. Yeah, we're looking into all the options. We're just getting we're getting quotes right now. A guy actually came by earlier who seemed really honest. The problem with roofers is like there's no consistency. They all want to charge you for some bullshit you don't have. Like the last quote we got cited gutter removal as part of the $17,000 estimate, and I'm like, we don't have gutters, homie. Next. So, we're just going through and checking everything. If nothing else, it's so we can get our, well, I mean, we want to protect our investment, but I'm not so worried about, like, I don't have a problem with, like, yes, I live in Florida and I love living in Florida. I'm not, like, scared of hurricanes or anything. Like, I have never had in my 32 years such a horrible experience with a hurricane. And, knock wood, I say that now. Has your job had any impact on what you do technically on the car? What do you mean by that, Paul? Can you rephrase that? Like, has my job had any effect, like, just on having time to do stuff? Is that what you're getting at? Rephrase your question. More so the people of Florida. My state, and I'll say it here that I may be a first generation American, but I am a proud Floridian. There are a lot of times when I'm not a proud American, even now, because Joe Biden sucks. But we won't get into that. Trump sucked too. Just to be clear, I don't like either of them. But I'm not gonna go down that alleyway right now. God, I'm getting off the tracks. Politics always gets people off the tracks. Anyway, Florida skills transfer. No. If anything, the skills that I already had from wrenching on cars for so many years, and this is responding to Paul, everybody. Because for those of you who don't know, I'm really getting off on side tangents here, but that's okay. I can revisit and keep the podcast going. Vidcast. I can keep the vidcast going. So for those of you out there who don't know, I have two jobs. I now have two jobs. My day job, I work in wing final assembly for Piper Aircraft, which is a super cool job. It's just turning wrenches. If nothing else, having experience messing up cars for 15 years or however long it's been since 2007. If anything, my experience with cars translated better to that job. Do I still have the Miata? No, I haven't had that Miata since like this time last year. I got rid of that thing. It was not what I wanted at the end of the day. I still get questions about that Miata. That's so wild. But back to my working. Yeah, if anything, my automotive experience transferred better and was what ultimately got me the job at the aircraft manufacturer. And then, of course, working in a brewery as a bar back doesn't translate at all to headache from working at the brewery. Not yet, but we try. We try every night I'm there, and it still hasn't taken me out yet. But yeah, someone get me back on track. I got lost. Let me scroll back. Um, Oh, Jarrett, talking about Florida. Yeah, I don't sweat being from Florida. I love my state, as wild and stupid and ignorant as it is. I don't, short of leaving the country and moving to somewhere like the UK or Germany, or Southeast Asia somewhere. I don't see me living somewhere else in the United States other than Florida. This state's the Wild West, and as 2021 of a person as I am, I definitely am like a lawless old west cowboy at heart, and I just love having no rules. I can do whatever I want with my car. You can literally, Florida is the lawless west, and I love it. Well, lawless south, I guess, geographically, to the United States. Good news, Jarrett. Good news. I ordered a variable speed wiper stock for my 2. Yes, and that was us in our wouldn't move to the UK. It's rubbish here and wet. The last time I visited though, I loved it. I felt it was the most at home I felt. It was the most at home I've felt since since coming back from that trip, I guess. Yeah. I yeah, and honestly, probably yes, it's probably not free enough for a person like me. Although you guys know better than I am. I'm probably looking at it through rose-colored glasses a little bit. But for now, it's just a vacation destination, and I foresee myself living in Florida in the future for quite a long time, especially because I own my home. I've only been here for 2 years, so I'm not going anywhere. We've got the roots. I've got 2 good jobs, so I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. I'm having a lot of fun. Congratulations on the going back to Jarrett with the variable speed wiper stock. I laugh, but like that's a luxurious item in a Mazda 2, and in the little group chat that I'm in, we like were scheming back and forth. Everyone was like, buy one before Rock Auto runs out of the stock of them. And I was just like, ooh, I ought to buy one and do a video and ruin it for everybody. But I didn't, and ultimately they ended up out of stock. I definitely will be giving you a shout when I come back to the UK. Hopefully, because I've got a couple of open like requests for like doing a thing, maybe getting some people together. Because the great thing about the UK, and I don't know how it is, because you live there you live there year round, but like the UK is the size of my state, so leaving Florida is like essentially like driving across the UK in some directions. So maybe we can put together a thing, because I'd love to meet everybody, especially Mazda 2 people, but I like to meet people, and it would be nice to do a thing. I don't know when I'm going to be able to make it back. Thoughts on the EPA? Oh, there we go. There's a talking point. Okay, we can get me on track. Thoughts on the EPA and RPM Act. So, come to Norway. There's snow and moose and snow. One day, the Scandinavian area is definitely on my list of travel destinations in in future. I don't know when that will be, but it's up there. But I'm not going anywhere doing this, so we'll be in contact. But going back to the RPM Act, I did sign the petition. I have communicated back and forth with all of my representatives, who some of which got back to me. One of which is a strong defender and I think he wrote on the four. Yeah, I don't get into politics that much, but he one of my representatives is for motorsports, in short. For people who don't know what the whole RPM Act thing, I guess basically what the federal government is trying to do is prevent people from converting their road car into a race car. So basically you can only buy a purpose-built race car. You can't convert a street car, and like there's modifications involved and stuff. It's a ridiculous thing that would hurt a lot of people. So if you want to know more from people who know what they're talking about, just Google the RPM Act, and find a petition. Email your representatives, hit them up, and tell them to defend people's rights to modify and enjoy their cars and convert them into race cars if they want to. Because making modification of cars illegal would be some bullshit. But unfortunately, it seems like, and that this is gonna devolve into a discussion about the electrification of cars, which I'm not against. I'll say that now. I'm not against the electrification of cars. I don't think it's a viable option, not with our current infrastructure, but I don't have a problem with electric cars, and if they eventually become a thing that's affordable for most people, they're, other than not being a renewable resource or not being a renewable thing, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, an electric car does more damage for the planet than any gas car will in its entire lifetime, between the manufacturing and there's no way to recycle them. So, much like nuclear waste, what's going to happen? Are all the batteries from these Teslas going to end up at the bottom of the ocean? Who can say? Uh, Humanity is screwed. And you know what? They're going to figure out how to travel to Mars, and they're going to ruin that planet too. Mark my words. Elon and his people are going to ruin Mars. And they're going to do it before I even have a chance to travel there, which is the biggest shame. Thoughts on the MX-30 Rotary? Oh, so the range extender in the MX-30. I think that's cool. I don't have a problem with, like, I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, they're stabbing us in the back. They're betraying all the Rotary people by making it a single rotor range extender in a crossover SUV. But like, get over it. Getting mad at the rotary range extender in an MX-30 is like getting mad at the cover version of a song. It doesn't make the original thing you love disappear. If you want a rotary engine, buy a goddamn RX-7. Like, there's tons of them, and they're cheap, and they're all pieces of shit, so go have fun. Like, it's ridiculous. But I really dig the MX-30, actually, just as a thing. Like, I'm not... Y'all should know by now that, like, I'm super easy. Like, I don't, like, hate any one thing. I'm not like, it has to be manual. It can't be a CUV. But like an electric Mazda SUV, like, whatever. Especially if it has a rotary range extender. Cool, it can go farther. And honestly, it'll be the most efficient version of a range extender, because rotaries at RPM are super efficient engines. They don't make a lot of torque and power, but they don't need to. All it has to do is charge a battery a little bit, but that's a deep hole that we'll get stuck going down as well. But yes, at the end of the day, I like the MX-30, and if I had all the money in the world, I might buy one. Maybe. What I'm really trying to do before, all these car brands are, like Audi just announced today that they're not going to be developing the internal combustion engine anymore. They're going full electric. What I really want to do before just out of nowhere they're going to be like, we're not going to sell gasoline anymore. I want to own a Porsche 911 before internal combustion engines eventually go the way of the dinosaurs. Not enough water in their microwave noodles. Run that by me again, Chris. Sorry I'm late. Someone said a micro. Oh, I didn't see your comment before. Chris, Octopus Car Door is in the chat, everybody. He's my first and most loyal Patreon supporter. So go check out his channel. He does gaming vlogs and stuff. He's a funny guy, has a lot of fun, and he supports my channel most of all. So go check him out, Octopus Car Door, right here on YouTube. But yes, buddy, welcome to the chat. Not a lot of water in their microwavable noodles. I mean, you gotta soak that ramen, baby. If anything, you can dump some water out. But yeah, so who wants to can I see a show of hands in the chat? Who wants to make fun of all the people that came into the next gen BRZ? Honestly, Rome, I don't give a shit about the next I didn't give a shit about the first BRZ, honestly. Like they're fine. I know the 8.6 is the same thing, but it's like slightly different. It's less luxurious. That's the sportier version. If I were gonna buy one of the I forget what the chassis code of those cars is. If I was gonna choose between an 8.6 or a BRZ, I would choose an 8.6 all day long, or even a FRS with mileage. But like the new BRZ, frankly, I think it's kind of ugly. I don't care that it doesn't have any more power. I drive a 100 horsepower hatchback. That stuff doesn't bother me, but not a fan of the looks. I think it's just kind of goofy looking, but that's just me. If you like it, that's cool. Where was I? Oh no, I don't want to do that. It almost closed. God damn it! I'm trying to. Oh, this chat's coming apart at the seams. I'm just trying to scroll back through the comments so that I can continue the conversation. Someone had a BRZ in our neighborhood for like a month and now it's gone. I have no idea what happened. They probably crashed it because they're a noob. Or they didn't like it. It was too small or something. That's one of the things in life that I'll never understand. Like people who like, do people just go and buy cars without test driving them or like doing any research or not thinking about it? You ever seen like people on like Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace that are like, take over my lease for my 2020 whatever? And you're like, did you not like could you not afford it? Did you not do any research? Are you a dumbass? Like it's it it's funny how people like will have a car for like a literal minute. I really don't like that term being like, oh, it's been a minute. But like in this case, it kind of counted, I guess, or it was an acceptable usage. But yeah, don't care about the BRZ in the least bit. Um, they absolutely do. Um, What, Realm? They absolutely do what? Not think? Yes, I absolutely agree. Most people buy cars without thinking. They just go in and just. A lot of times it's Toyota buyers, and no offense to any Toyota buyers watching or in the chat, but by and large, I find that people are like, oh, my aunt's brother's sister had a Toyota Corolla once, and it was a good car, so I'm just going to buy one without thinking about it. And I'm like, wow, car purchases aren't even emotional anymore. It's just based on perceived quality, and that's sad. And that's why That's why Mazda doesn't sell a lot of cars, because they make cars for people who think about their purchases rather than just going, oh, Toyotas and Hondas are good. Everybody knows someone who's had a Corolla or a Civic, and that's why the Mazda 2 doesn't get sold here anymore, not even as a Yaris. Um, I'm going to top up real quick because it's all coming apart and I'm having. I wish I could buy a car without thinking about it. Yeah, right? Must be fucking nice. I'll be right back. Yeah, like imagine marching in somewhere and being like, "Yes, I'll take that one." Like the old people up the street from me that bought a Camry TRD, if you can believe it. They parked that bitch outside. I mean, like, it's a Camry TRD, who cares? But, like, the funniest thing is old people going into car dealerships and just, like, buying whatever the salesman tells them to buy because they've got all the money in the world thanks to generational wealth. That's another political conversation I'm not going to get into. But yeah, this old couple up the street, they bought a bright red Camry TRD, and it's just the funniest thing ever. It's like seeing an old man driving around in like an STI or something, like a stock STI. I can't tell you how many times I've seen that. Cheers, folks. Look at that. That's a good pour. It's all beer and no suds. I had a couple comments. Let me scroll back down. I wish I don't know. I don't want I don't want our Civic anymore. Anyone got 25K? Yeah, exactly. I know y'all got that stimulus. Let me hold $1. My stimmy ain't hit yet, bro, and that's going right to the roof above my head. Unfortunately, watch the replay earlier for to check out my woes of home ownership. Rock the Rock, any more mods for your Mazda 2? Yeah, we talked about that a little bit earlier in the chat. What I'm currently saving for is the brand new Mazda 2 optimized long tube B-spec header, so I can finally have all of the available power adders short of reground cams. So I want to get the B-spec header, and then I eventually want to get a tune done. And I mentioned earlier in the chat that I picked up a second job at the best place ever, Walking Tree Brewery, here in Florida, and making some extra. Sorry, I just entered the chat. Yeah, no worries. That's why I wanted to go through and retouch on everything. Check out the replay earlier if you're feeling sassy. It was pretty ugly earlier, but also it's pretty ugly now. There's nothing really happening. I'm just kind of rambling, but I'm having a good time talking to you guys, and this is the real me that you get to see, not the edited version of me. For those of you who regularly watch my videos and don't see the 20 takes, at least 20 takes it requires for me to get a line across. Welcome to Real Josh. Real Josh, who's had a couple of beers and a 10% and a 10% wheat thing shot. Anyway, I forgot my entire comment while typing it. I've been there, bro. Mr. Geek Gamer, I gotta sleep. You're into European time and all. Good to keep up with you. Oh my god, I'm stumbling. Thanks for coming. I don't know if you're still in the chat, but thank you, Mr. Geek Gamer. Ethan Smith Gwilliams. Is that like Gwanda from Into the Spider-Verse? My 72-year-old granddad drives a 26 Octavia VRS Stage 1 remapped. Oh my god. It looks odd at first until he starts driving it. Old car guys with new cars always... it's always funny. But it's great when they're not modified. Like an old man in a bone stock, like, STI or something. That's always the funniest. Do you have any modding recommendations for your 2016 2006 Demio? Well, that would be a DW? No idea. Really, you could follow the same methodology I've followed suspension, brakes, wheels, tires, throw an exhaust on it, and have some fun. Do a track day as soon as possible, or at least do an autocross. So yes, that was for Ross Dredge for the 2006. 2006. Oh my god, I'm losing my place. 2006 Demio. I didn't hear you read my comment. Send me the comment again. If I didn't read it, if I have missed anything you've said, get back in the chat and we can keep the conversation going. I apologize if I missed anything. You got me into the Mazda, Rock the Rock. You got me into the Mazda 2 mods for my girlfriend, changed the climate knobs, and then put a 7-inch audio screen. You know, eventually, if part of me is hoping, because Mazda 2s are plagued with radio failures. If the radio ever fails on the silver car, it's just going out, and I'll take all the speakers out because lightweight, race car, dumb Reizer things. But if the radio ever fails on the green car, I think I'm going to get that Chicane, whatever, the big, nice looking touchscreen that looks like a modern tablet on the dash. That's a good looking unit there. Obviously, I hope that my radio never fails in either car, because that's just an extra expense. But, like, everyone around me is like, my radio and my 2 failed, what do I do? And I'm like, oh god, it's gonna come for me eventually. So, we'll see. I could not give less of a shit about in-car entertainment, like audio and stuff. I get questions all the time like, oh, what head unit should I get, or what speakers? And I'm like, sorry, bro. I don't even use the radio in my car, so I couldn't tell you. Any opinion on cast aluminum wheels? I think Kosei makes some lightweight Lobach Mazda fitments. Friend says go forged or bust. I think my wheels are... Oh, no, mine are flow formed, I think. No, my wheels, my TR Motorsports wheels use NK... NK? They use the same technology that's used to make RPF 1s. Enkei's MAT technology, whatever MAT means. I don't know. Cast aluminum, just don't hit any potholes, and, like, if you're using them on the track, don't hit the curbs too hard. Your friend that says go forged or bust is... Your friend that says go forged or bust must be one of those real wheels or nothing else kind of people. Like, buy the wheels you want and, like, avoid obstacles in the road. Like, you're not gonna die. All the horror stories about my wheel came apart, it's because someone clobbered a pothole or clobbered a curb on a racetrack with, like, some XXRs or something. Like, buy something okay. Like don't buy, like, the cheesy name brands, like, or cheesy off brands like XXR, but, like, my TR Motorsports wheels have served me a-okay, and like I said, they use the same technology as RPF 1s. Unfortunately, though, they're not as light as the RPF 1s I want. But that's a story for another day. Thojo 1111? Any... that was your comment I was just reading. Sorry. Rome H, I would love to see a supercharged Mazda 2. Hit up Falcon Garage right here in the comments. Zach Scott in the Mazda 2 owners group, and Falcon Garage on Instagram. He has a... I think I got all those right, Zach, if you're watching this in the playback. Check him out on Instagram at the very least. Falcon Garage. He has a supercharged Mazda 2, so you can look into information on that. Yes, Chris, the Chicane, or however it's pronounced, you know, the Taiwan radio, or wherever the hell it comes from, the AliExpress radio that is, like, the only one that really works. Yeah, having better Euro times again. Tune in next time. Jarrett, tires 185, 55, 15. I'm not impressed with the stock tires, and they are worn. Any ideas? Well, I do not have the stock size on the green car. I have 195 60, no, I have 195 50 15s on the green car, which are a little balloony on those 6-inch wide factory wheels, but they're not ultimately not bad. Toyo Extenza HP 2 or 3, whatever they're on now. If you don't like the stock tire size, which honestly I really liked, especially the factory Yokohamas that the two came on in 185/55. I really enjoyed those tires. But if you don't like that size, you can go to a 195/50 on the stock wheels if that's what you've got. Uh, Nandini Khan, I bought a Mazda Demio Sport Edition 2009. Can you give me advice? Um, Advice on what? Like, I mean, I've done pretty much all the mods that anyone would do. Any common person, any average person, not common, any average person that's done mods to there too. Like, I've done it and covered it on this channel. Go back through my archive, check out my past videos, and that should provide some information to you. I've done all kinds of silly stuff with this car, wasting my money. Chris, AliExpress, they haven't let me down yet. Yeah, every once in a while I hop on there and just see if they've got any nonsense stuff for the two, and I think about it, but, like, eh. Rome H, beat the crap out of the dash. Don't stop till the airbags go off. The radio should work. Hell yeah, I'll drink to that. Goodwin Racing sells decent wheels for the two. Yes, they do, and it's all Miata. I mean, anything that'll fit a Miata with reasonable fitment, like Miata people like to do like 15/8 0 offset, like that won't fit the two. But anything that's like a 7-inch or 7 to 8-inch wide wheel with an offset around ET plus 35 will fit a Mazda 2 just fine. So, like, Miata wheels, any 4x100 like Honda Miata wheel, like, it's all Remy TV. Hi, I couldn't pass this occasion to say hi. I've been watching you for a few years. My 2 is going to sale. It's been one of the best car I've ever owned. Thanks for the entertainment and info. Well, it's unfortunate that you're selling your 2, but I promise you're going to miss it, and I hope that you'll be back, because the turnover for people who sell and then repurchase 2s is, at least here in the United States, it's pretty high, people who sell them and then eventually come back to them. I'm looking at you, Jeff. I know you're not watching right now, but hopefully you will later. But yes, thank you, Remy, for being part of the 2 community for a while. Sad to see you go, and we hope you come back pretty soon. Chris, what tire do I recommend for a 16-inch rim? The best performing one you can get for the money. Is there a good, I think there's a Continental Extreme Contact Sport size in like a 16/7 type size. Look into Continentals. I mean, I love my Continentals. Yes, Marlin runs Kosei K1s, which I'm sure are super light and strong. They're like a proven like 10-15-year-old wheel design that is pretty popular. They're not my style particularly, but they're a fine wheel. Chris, oh, remind me, how did you finally get the ball joint out? I'm planning on ripping the entire front suspension and replacing it. To be honest, right now, I don't remember, but I think I cover it in the video. Go ahead and just re-watch that. Like, I'm not trying to get you to, ad revenue me by watching a video again. I honestly think the answer is there, because I certainly don't have the answer for you right now. But check out my wheel bearing replacement video, and it should be there. Nandini Khan, I bought this car from Japan, didn't see it yet, so they asked what size. Like like the physical size of the car or the engine size, or uh, here in North America, the Mazda 2 falls in the B segment. I don't know if that will help you or not, but it's a B segment subcompact car. Um, Jarrett, those are amazing tires. The Continental Extreme Contact Sport, yes, they are amazing tires, and I love them. Although I don't know, I might go back to my Nitto Neo Gens for the next set of tires. It all depends on when I have the extra money for more tires. I'm definitely short on tires, at least on one end of the car. I'm short on tires. I know it was something odd. Please read my comment. The physical size of the car. Yeah. Uh, Nandini. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. But yes, the Mazda 2 falls in the B segment, and it's classified as a subcompact. If that helps you, I don't know. I don't know where you are, what your classifications are, but here in North America, it's B segment subcompact for the Mazda 2. God, we're approaching an hour. So who wants to roast all the people that were asking for turbo kits in the two owners group? I know Chris does. Drop in the comments and let me know if you want me to roast all the people asking for turbo kits and power adders, and then get mad when I'm like, buy a Fiesta ST, bro. But meanwhile, I'm gonna take another sip. I'm having a good time. I know these are really clunky. 156 by 67 by 58. Chris, you're gonna have to decipher that code for me. Um, are those tire dimensions, or are those vehicle dimensions? And are they inches or millimeters or what? Well, they're not millimeters. They can't possibly. It's got to be inches. So yeah, I guess since we're approaching an hour, and these usually end up being like an hour and a half long, length by width by height for the two. So my friend there, Google. Well, Chris, not everyone has Google foo like you and me. So yeah, I guess now's the time to. I don't really know anything about cars, so I saw your video and thought I would. Well, I hope the information we provided here in the comments helps you with just the overall dimensions of the car. If you hop on Google and just search your year, um, if you search your year Mazda 2 or Demio or whatever it is on Google or whatever your most popular search engine is, you should be able to find your exterior dimensions uh, through a quick internet search. Um, but we already covered what overall classification these are. Anyway, moving on. I wanted to just talk about how in the Mazda 2 Owners Club on Facebook, which if you're not a member there and you're not like jaded in some way, because I've had people in the past that are like, I don't want to rejoin that group. They were rude to me there. If you're not a member of, and this is literally how it's spelled out, it's M2O Mazda 2 Owners on Facebook. If you're not part of that group, you should join because we have a lot of fun in there, generally speaking. Except for today, when seemingly a million people, it was like two or three, but like it felt like a million people joined and were like, where can I get a turbo kit for my Mazda 2? The never-ending conversation of how can I make this thing as fast as a Fiesta ST, but I don't want to buy a Fiesta ST kind of thing. Like multiple people joined, or not joined, but like posted in the group today about, where's there a turbo kit? How can I add power? How can I make this thing faster? And it's just like, bruh. So I hopped in there and I shared my classic shit Mazda 2 owners say video that I made a couple years ago, go back and check that out, because that's always fun. I think I kind of want to make another one of those, because there are always new things new silly things that Mazda 2 owners have to say, and that might be a free content generator right there, because as any good writer will say, write what you know. And if there's one thing I know, it's the Mazda 2 community and how good and bad it can be. But like Chris said in the comments, Octopus Corridor, join M2O Mazda 2 owners on Facebook. Um, so, Nandini, I don't use WhatsApp, but anyone who does use WhatsApp, information is right there in the comments somewhere. As far as I understand it, WhatsApp is kind of at least here in the United States. So I don't use it. It's just one more social media thing that I don't need. And oddly enough, speaking of social media, for those who don't know but follow the channel, I recently joined Reddit, oddly enough. And there's a Mazda 2 subforum, or subreddit, I should say, and I post in there every once in a while. I can't believe that it took me this long to join Reddit. But and honestly, I mostly joined it for the free NASCAR race streams, because yes, in true Floridian fashion, I enjoy the redneck racing as well. And people like to talk smack, but NASCAR has its own merits. Like, I'm a motorsport fan. I love IMSA first of all, and I love the 24 Hours of Le Mans, the 24 Hours of Nürburgring, and endurance sports car racing. But at the end of the day, I love NASCAR as well, and I follow it pretty closely. How did I get on a NASCAR tangent on a Mazda 2 channel? That's so funny. Let's go back through the comment. Looking to install a Cummins in my 2. Any advice? Good luck is all I can say. Guzman 1289. If you want to install, listen, my whole thing is I have a realistic view of the world when it comes, especially when it comes to modifying the Mazda 2 in particular. And people have these lofty ideas, and like people are like to say, "Oh, you're not trying," and stuff. People don't understand. Like, we own Mazda 2s, bro. Like, these cars were $12,000 when they were new. We're not in the 1% here. So, yeah, I know you were. I know you were joking, Guzman. I know you were joking about the Cummins swap, and that's really funny. But like people come in there and they're like, "Oh, I'll just K swap it," and I'm like, "Is it your only car? Because like you don't do that shit in a weekend." Like, people think it's easy. Like, 10 people own this car, and there's zero aftermarket support for it. And I didn't mean to do the white power sign. I hate that in 2020, you can't even be like, A-OK without it being racist, but there it is. Yeah, it's just like, and I respect the ambition. Like, I encourage people all the time, like, if you've got all the money in the world and like you want to blow it on turbocharging a Mazda 2 from scratch, by all means, because I would love to see it and I would love to drive it in particular. But like, if I won the lottery tomorrow, you can bet my ass is gonna have like a GT3 spec Mazda 2, because I'm dumb. No, honestly, if I won the lottery tomorrow, I'd be driving an RS 4-liter, baby. But that's, that's a whole nother story. Getting off the rails again. Wish we could have gotten the new Toyota the GR Yaris. I cannot stand the styling of the GR Yaris. I'm sure it's an amazing car to drive, and I'm sure it's a technological marvel and all that, but I just think it's hideous. I cannot stand when you've got like, especially the rear 3/4, the rear wheel arches, like, no. What's happening, Joe? How's everything going there in Idaho, out in the real American West? Oh, Idaho. Hey, Chris, don't knock on the American West. Montana, Idaho, there's nothing out there. You can buy a big old chunk of land for probably nothing. You can shoot your guns, and you can be a real American out there. Maybe one day oh, I just Googled the Yaris. Oh, yeah. Google the GR Yaris and then proceed to have a waste paper bin pretty close so that you can throw up into it because they're hideous. Like, oh my god, 20% battery. All right. That's what I get for starting a live stream with 45% battery. So we'll probably wrap this up at an hour and a half. If it drops to 10% battery, you'll know because I'll like wrap it up pretty fast. But yeah, the back end looks squished. Octopus Car Door right here in the chat. Like the back end looks super squished, and then they put like box flares on it. I'm gonna try and pronounce the last name. Tome? I don't know the first name. I'm not gonna butcher your name, but yes, I am aware that there is an electric four-wheel drive version of the two that I think they were sold mostly in Japan. And honestly, if I had all the money in the world, I'd try to get the E four-wheel drive system, but make it so that it's not for like getting out of traction situation purposes, and I'd try and like change it so that it's a performance advantage, sort of, like an electrified rear axle that actually adds power to the car. But yeah, that's yeah, Chris, did you not know that there's okay, so sit down because this is gonna blow your mind. Okay, Guzman 1289, favorite Mazda merch and memorabilia. I'm gonna get to that, but Chris, sit down, cause you're gonna Mazda Japan had the Mazda Demio E four-wheel drive. So pretty much, it's an electric motor that sits under the rear of the chassis, and it drives the rear wheels. It still has a torsion beam type suspension, but the rear wheels are driven, and it's one of those things where, like, if you're in a low traction situation, like if you get stuck in snow or mud, you can like flip a switch and you have four-wheel drive in a Mazda 2, which is pretty cool, but unfortunately it's not a performance oriented system. It's literally for like 0 to 10 miles an hour or something ridiculous. Yeah, I want it too. And at one point I was on like and yes, Joe, there was an electric Demio in Japan as well. Chris, I'm gonna get it. Get me to Japan. It's funny you should say that. I was on like Kruber or Yahoo Japan auctions or one of those things at once, and there was an entire assembly. It was the rear torsion beam, the rear brakes, the electric motor, the axles, and everything. And like, oh my god, I mean, it was a shit ton of money because it was still in Japan and it would have cost a ton of money to import. And then you've got to make it work. Like, I'm not that smart. People say I'm smart, but like, I don't know shit. I'm not an engineer. I just pretend to be one on YouTube. But yes, they Eric H. They also did test the rotary range extender in the 2 in Japan. The all electric one was pretty cool. Like, honestly, like, I drive 5 miles a day. If this car was electric, I wouldn't care because it would have all the torque in the world. And like, who gives a shit? Like, honestly, if there was an electric one, I would have a third one, and it would be my daily driver to and from work 5 miles on all electric power. That would be super cool. And honestly, if we ever get like an electric Mazda 3, like, gonna be thinking about it. Cause like when electric cars start to hit like 20K, 25K, like, that's gonna be it. Like, when you get electric cars that are $20,000 or $25,000 here in the States, like, that's gonna be it for internal combustion. And apparently, Tesla are working on a Model 2, that'll be like 25K. And once the overlap, once the overlap of electric and internal combustion as far as cost goes, like that's going to be the nail in the coffin. And as far as much as I say like our infrastructure isn't ready for electric cars, like people want it to happen. They're accepting it as an inevitability. But meanwhile, my boys at Porsche are working on synthetic fuels for internal combustion. So hopefully they'll be able to keep the suck, squish, bang, blow going for a little bit while longer. All right, we got a couple comments that I missed. I'm scrolling back up. All right, Guzman, 1289. Favorite bit of Mazda merch and memorabilia that you own? That is a difficult one. And I'm looking around my garage right now because it's all on the walls. And I've got it. Sit tight, everybody. All right, so this flag right here is probably one of my most special pieces of Mazda memorabilia because this was handed to me personally in Victory Lane at Road Atlanta when CJ Wilson Racing won the IMSA Continental Tire ST Championship in a NC MX-5. I was there that year. I was in Victory Lane with Chad McCumbee and Stephen McAleer. I think they were the drivers that year. But anyway, I was handed this flag personally by John Doonan, who I consider a close friend, even though I haven't spoken to him in a while. But at the time, he was the director of Mazda Motorsports, and I had hot passes. He handed me this victory flag specifically, and I cherish it. It's one of my favorite pieces of Mazda memorabilia, and I know you're never going to see this, John, but I'm grateful every day that I leave my house and go to work to see this flag that you handed me. That was one of the best days the best days of my motorsports life was being in Victory Lane at Road Atlanta with the now defunct CJ Wilson Racing MX-5 team. So yeah, I'm going on too much, but like it's just a simple little flag, but it's one of my favorite little things. So that was a fun story. I'm glad I was able to share that with you guys, and it hangs with lots of love in my garage. So sit tight. I'm going to put it back. I will be right back to the live stream. So, all right. We're at 72 minutes. Chris, if your phone is at 4%, it was nice having you. Thank you for stopping by the chat. I appreciate you, buddy. Joe, he did not sign the flag, but, we have an established rapport. Like, he knows my face, so every time I see him, it's a firm, fond handshake and everything. I didn't need it to be autographed. Just standing in Victory Lane at Road Atlanta with a championship winning Mazda team and then getting one of those victory flags was enough for me. Eric H. It's always out. If it's safe to travel come fall, are you planning Mazda 2s on the Dragon for this year? I'm itching to go back and rip with more 2s. If all things go well and like the vaccine starts getting out and like people aren't like shitty about the Rona, because like we're all tired of like, as an American, it makes me feel so like awful that my country can like contributed to ruining the world for the past couple of years. Yeah, I really hope that this thing gets under control, because not having Mazda 2s on the Dragon 3 in 2020 broke my heart. I love going up to the Dragon and seeing my friends, doing laps, doing night runs, and just hanging out with other 2 owners. So I'm absolutely going to try, all things going well, hopefully, to plan a third installation of Mazda 2s on the Dragon in 2021. But time will tell how that goes. So stay tuned. I'll definitely let you know on stuff like that. Oh shit, everybody! Chris jammed a charger in his phone, so he's still in the chat. Hit him up, Octopus Car Door. Give him some ats. Go follow his channel. Chris, where is the dragon? Okay, so look up the tail of the dragon, and you will find it's honestly one of the more overrated roads in North America, but still, like, it's a hot spot. You gotta do it. You have to do at least one up and down lap. Mike Y, can I bring my 3? Yes. While Mazda 2's on the Dragon is a Mazda 2's, like, centered event, like, all Mazda 2 owners are welcome. Or all Mazda owners are welcome. Like, I love Mazdas. Like, if you want to come hang out and do some laps with us on the Dragon, it's super cool. And we're not gonna be like, get out of here because you own a 3. Like, yeah, come on down. Anyway, Chris, so the tail of the Dragon is it's 113 turns in 11 miles, or 130 turns or something. It's a lot of turns in 11 miles. It's a mountain road in the middle of nowhere. It's on the border of North Carolina and Tennessee. Look it up. You'll see plenty of photos and stuff. Like, it's one of the most overrated, but it's one of the best driving roads in North America, at least on the eastern seaboard, I would say. And I prefer to go up there every year if I can help it. And it's so much fun. Like look at my videos. I've done a couple of videos where there's some footage of the 2 on the tail of the Dragon, and it's just like, there may be better roads, there may be less overrated roads, but like, it's just easier to say that. And plus, it sounds cool to say Mazda 2's on the Dragon. Like, come on. Pete! 16V Pete in the chat, folks. Check him out on Car Bibles right now. Yes, Mike Y, you can bring your 3, you can bring your 2. I don't care. I mean, I'd prefer you'd bring your 2, of course. But, oh man, the Rona, we're under a curfew here. Can't even go out for a late night drive. That sucks. Yeah, that does suck, not being able to at least leave your house. And, you know, here in the States, we can at least, like, go out for... I mean, here in Florida, I can do whatever I want. Like, there's no mask mandates or anything. Like, people are dying. It's sad. The human race, especially the American race, is doomed. But, you know, what can you do? All you can do is the best you can. Eric H, look on my channel. I have a video driving in a 2. When Josh is done, of course. Yeah, everyone go check out Eric H. Anyone who creates Mazda 2 content on YouTube, I welcome them, because the more Mazda 2 content that's out there, the more people are turned on to them, and the more people realize that they're good little underrated cars that you can get for nothing. And they're so great. Eric H, your arms will be tired and your brakes and tires will be hot after each lap. On the Dragon? Yes, absolutely. Even in the 2, the brakes be smoking. Yeah, everyone. Peter Nelson, he's in the chat. 16V Pete. Head over to carbibles.com, I think. They're on social media, and he's putting out all kinds of cool Mazda 2 content. He's a better writer than I could ever be. And just, you know, spreading the gospel of the Mazda 2, and I know, buddy, that you've been back and forth on the 2 several times since I've known you, and I hope we get to meet one day when I come to California, or you come to the East Coast, maybe for Mazda 2's on the Dragon. Anyway, he's out there spreading the gospel of the Mazda 2 with an actual platform that isn't just a silly YouTube channel, actual written media, so go check them out. And hopefully, between the boom of B-Spec racing and some good articles out there and some YouTube content, hopefully people, like, realize these cars are so underrated and good, and, like, it makes things happen. Whether it's aftermarket support or whatever, I love these cars so much, and I want them to I want them to get their day, and I don't think that they've had their day yet. Mine has had its day, but like I hope the Mazda 2 as a platform has its day, and that's why I make the videos here on YouTube, just to show people like these cars are great and they're cheap, and you can like it's nothing to have a Mazda 2, but it's everything at the same time. So. Back through the comments. I'm yapping away for my love for the Mazda 2. Um, Tomas, woot woot. I agree with you there, buddy. Uh, Guzman 1289. I wish there was a West Coast equivalent to the Mazda 2 Dragon meat. Pete, you gotta have like an Angeles Crest Mazda 2 meet. I don't know how close it is to like the Long Beach area, but like there are some West Coast California Mazda 2 people, and like Angeles Crest and the Angeles Forest in general. Uh like like yeah, Pete, organize a meet out there, cuz like we got the West Coast covered. Like there needs to be a West Coast meet for all the people out there. Thank you, Eric H. I've got to get the kiddo to bed. It was fun to check in for a few minutes, throw a 10 into the content. Thank you so much to Eric H. for the $10 contribution in the super chat. You're the real one. I appreciate you, and I know I'm a little loopy because I've had a couple of high alcohol content local beers from my own employer that I got for free. Oh my God, what a life! And right now I'm humble bragging, and I feel like a piece of shit for doing it, but I love you guys, and I'm having so much fun. I really hope that I have enough battery to keep going, because I'm having so much fun. Eric H., the atmosphere down here is amazing too. We're shooting the shit with the exotic car owners, and they were seemingly just interested in our cars. See? At the end of the day, people know what's up, and that's the best part. Pete with $10 and a little, is that a pear? Like a superhero pear? Oh, Chris, hook the phone to your car battery. You know, the funny thing is I have a splitter here that I got off Amazon that doesn't work. Like Lewis Burley in the chat, folks. Welcome, buddy. I have a little splitter here. I have a splitter that I got off Amazon that's supposed to have a microphone input and a power input, and it doesn't work. Because before I started the live stream, I was like, "Oh, I've only got 45%." Like I could unplug the microphone, but like the audio would be shit. But I'd have power. Like what am I at? Can I see? No, I can't see what kind of power I've got. Oh no. Yeah, you know what? It's gonna tell me, Lewis, we are doing all right. I've had a couple of high alcohol content beers, from Walking Tree Brewery, my newest employer. We're just having a good time. We're just shooting the shit. We're talking up Mazda 2s, throwing money around, having a good time, just watching me just like, I'm having so much fun. I love doing these things with you guys. They start off so rocky at first. You got 100 horsepower at 6,000 RPM, if that on a good day downhill. Jed in the chat. Sorry, I missed you, buddy. Exhaust is blown again, so my 1.3 sounds a little too mean. Hey, you know, all a 1.3 is a smaller 1.5, so you know, it probably sounds about the same. And I've got an idea for a video regarding 1.3s, but I'm not going to tell you guys what it is because I think it'll be funny, and it might be funny to other Mazda 2 owners. Yeah, I've got to like I'm not going to say any more because I don't want to spoil it. But just think of 1.3s versus 1.5s. If you're a 1.5 owner, think of having 20 less horsepower or turning on the air conditioning, and you might see where I'm going with that. Having a little laugh a little bit. Not to shit on the 1.3s. Like, I'm sure they're just as fun to drive, but like driving the 2 with the air conditioning on is painful. So like you guys are my heroes for not killing yourselves for having a 1.3 Mazda 2. Where are we? It's great to see more people into 2s. If you guys ever visit St. Lucia, we'll go for a drive. I'm off to bed. Thanks for coming. Thanks for participating in the chat and all that. I'm losing my place. Lewis having a Guinness. You see, I can't do that dark thick stuff. Like I gotta have the stuff that looks like pee. But at the very least, it's an IPA. So. Jed, I couldn't maintain 75 on the motorway in 5th, my AC on. I was losing speed while overtaking uphill. I mean, it's even a 1.5 can barely make it uphill, so you're not alone in that. But definitely if I see a hill, even here in Florida, like we have just overpasses and stuff, if I see an overpass, I'm like, air conditioning off, race mode engaged. Yeah, Lewis, you're late to the chat, so I'll inform you on everything that's going on. I got a second job, actually, just to get a little bit more money, to spend on stupid car stuff, and this is where I work now. 2-3 nights a week as a bar back. I work at Walking Tree Brewery, which is a super cool place, and the tips. I haven't even gotten my first paycheck, and the tips are rolling in, baby. So I told my boss, I'm like, dude, even if it's weeknights, because like it'll be tough. Like it would be tough because Walking Tree closes at 10 on weeknights, and I have to get up for work at Piper for 4:50 in the morning, and I have to be at work at 5:30. And typically we're there an hour after closing at the brewery, so like getting home at like 11:30 and having a shower and going to bed and then having to get up again to be at work at 5:30 would be tough, but like the money's there. So if I have a weeknight shift available, like, oh buddy. So yeah, yeah, Pete, my work schedule is tough, but I want it. There are things I want. Mazda 2 header, a Porsche 911. There are things I want, so I got a little extra side gig, and honestly, I'm having so much fun working at a brewery. I said it earlier, but like every hour on the hour, we have these like barley wine 10% alcohol shots that we do, like the barnacled manatee we call it, and every hour on the hour I'm just working there doing dishes, and they're like, hey man, manatee shot, and I'm like, you don't have to tell me twice. And we just have a good time. They're great people. When I took the job, like, I was just thinking the extra hourly income. I didn't even think of the tips. And I haven't even gotten my first paycheck from there yet, because much like my day job at Piper Aircraft, they pay bi-weekly. So yeah, I've just been riding those tips. And that's the last sip of the evening for me, because it's getting close to pit stop time, if you know what I mean. And we're at 88 minutes on this one. So actually, I'm gonna go ahead, and because I know my battery is waning on this one, and I'm going to need a restroom break, and I don't want to just like leave the stream randomly for another stream, if you will. But yeah, so if anyone has any closing thoughts, I think we should just go ahead and wrap it up. If anyone has any closing thoughts, quick questions, anything that they want to throw in, that I can answer real quick, and then we'll wrap it up for this one. I've had a ton of fun talking to you guys. I always do, and once my closest pals from the Mazda 2 community join, we have a lot of fun. And just like all of my, I definitely want to say to my Patreon supporters that have participated in the chat tonight, Pete, Jed, Chris, I think there were a couple in there, but like my Patreon supporters, you guys are the best, and I'm sorry, like I haven't been like putting out regular content. I don't want you guys to feel like I'm just like taking your money. I've got ideas in the tank, but as you know, I picked up my second job to try and get some extra money. So if you want to hit me up about that, DM me or whatever. If you want to like discuss that sort of thing, I won't get into that business here, but I appreciate your support nonetheless. And like, you guys are the realest ones. I never thought in a million years in 2016 when I started my YouTube channel that I'd ever have like Patreon supporters. Like, it's so cool that I've been able to like making videos about Mazda 2s. Like, who'd have thunk it? It's just super cool, and I appreciate not only my Patreon supporters, because you guys are like, I consider everyone in the Mazda 2 community a close friend, even if we haven't met, because, like, there's some solidarity there in our stupid little cars. But, like, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate everyone who participates in the channel and comments and is like, the regulars. I can't name everybody, because, like, I've been drinking, so I can't name everybody, but, like, anyone who participates in the channel, whatever capacity, I appreciate you guys. Like, I had a couple of super chats tonight, like $20. Like, you guys are awesome, and it means a lot to me. And Real Emotion coming out right now. It's just super cool, and I appreciate everybody. So we're 91 minutes, so no one else has anything to add to the chat. So at this point, I'm just going to wrap it up. I'm going to say thank you to everyone for participating in the channel, watching, subscribing, supporting me on Patreon, and all that. You guys are awesome. I have so much fun doing these, even if they start off real bad at first. Like, I hope people watch these playbacks and like stay long enough to enjoy when it gets fun after I've had a couple 3 beers in me. It's so much fun, and I appreciate you guys so much. Had a lot of fun. In a lot of ways, I can never wrap these things up. You should see how many takes it takes me to wrap up like a produced video on the channel. Like, I just want it to be so good. But the Mazda Vidcasts are so good, and I have a lot of fun. So with that, I'm gonna close it out. Thank you all so much for watching, subscribing, commenting, participating, supporting the channel. I love you guys for it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Now, enjoy me trying to end the stream for like 30 seconds afterward. Oh my god, this is the most fun part of all, watching me try to end it. Yes, I am sure I want to stop streaming. All right, love you guys. I'll see you in the next one.